Hey guys, I am making one of my husband's favorite dinners today. So I thought I'd share along the way and show you how to make this. So I'm making a stuffed pork loin, and the original recipe I believe was a Paula Deen recipe, and she used spinach and bacon and Parmesan. Today I'm doing things a little different because you know me, I can't leave a recipe alone. But I'm starting with my family skillet. Now, every kitchen we know needs a good skillet in it. This one is part of our executive cookware line, which means it's non-stick on the inside and the outside, has a really flat bottom. So that makes it heat up more evenly, and the thin-walled sides make it heat quickly. But notice that it's kind of at an angle. That's because that fluted edge helps give you a dripless pour, so you don't get things everywhere. So the first thing I'm going to do is throw some. Now obviously I had my skillet preheating, and I have a little bit of grapeseed oil in here for these mushrooms, and I want them to get started good. Now over in the microwave I have my small ridge baker going, making the bacon that's going inside. So today we're going to put mushrooms, spinach, bacon, and provolone cheese, and probably throw a little Parmesan in there too. But what I love about recipes is they're just a suggestion. So change them up for your family. If they want spinach and mushrooms, how about some cheddar cheese and broccoli? There's an idea. So anyway, let's get this going. And when these are getting kind of done, I'm going to throw my spinach in here. Now the spinach I basically want to just kind of wilt so that I can spread it out a little bit easier. And when we get to that part, you're going to see why that's important. I've done it with it just raw, but it just makes it easier if I let it wilt just a little. So these mushrooms are toasting up pretty nice, starting to cook. They don't have to be well done because they're going to be cooked some more in the oven. All right. So to this, we're going to add some spinach. And this is how much spinach I have, so that's how much we're going to add. Now this pan I'm using has a lifetime warranty. So one thing you have to think about when you look into cookware is how long is it going to last. Now what you'll find with our cookware is it has a titanium core. The importance of that is, have you ever used an old skillet and all of a sudden the lid didn't fit right? That's because that skillet goes out of round. They warp because they don't have the proper inside. Well, this skillet has a titanium core, so it never warps on me. Now with this bacon, I can just put the lid on it and turn the burner off and just let it sit there, and it'll finish wilting, and then it'll be just right for the stuffing. So I'll be back in a minute to show you that. Look at this glass lid. Can you see? You can see the steam coming up in there. So it's cooking the spinach for us, and I've got the burner turned off because it'll hold the heat. And help that finish cooking. Look at that. It's already smelling wonderful. Wonderful. He's going to be so happy. Okay, here we are for phase 2 of our stuffed pork loin. Now there's a difference between pork loin and pork tenderloin. A pork loin is going to be, you know, bigger. And I usually buy one, you know, about this big, and then I cut it into 3 pieces and I freeze them because I use them to make pork chops. They are the most delicious pork chops cooked in our grill pan. And And then I may use one to cook like a pork roast, and then I'll use one to do a stuffed pork loin. So what we're going to do, the first thing you need is a nice sharp knife. And I'm going to use our color-coded utility knife. Now these have a 1-year warranty, and they're not balanced, so they're not as heavy duty as our forged cutlery. But that's okay, because we are just needing a nice sharp knife here. So what you do is you just cut as close to the edge as possible. And what you're doing is you're opening this pork loin up to be a one flat piece of meat. Now you have to be careful because it's easy to get it too thin and then you'll have holes in it. So you just gently cut. Gently, be gentle with it. And then keep coming down. And then come this way. Now remember, when you cook anything, if the recipe calls for something you just don't think you can slip by with your family, change it up. You don't have to be exactly what a recipe says. Recipes are just somebody else's idea of what goes together. And sometimes we have to change them up a little to fit our families. But today, the reason I'm changing today up is simply because this is what I had on hand. So I had this pork loin already thawed out and ready, and I thought, you know, we've had pork chops lately, so let's do Michael's favorite meal. And the reason I'm doing that is because tonight I'm going out to dinner with my team, because once a quarter I do what we call dinner with the stars, and my team is my stars. So when they earn a certain amount of sales in a quarter, then I take them out to dinner. I have a gift for them, and so I like to treat them well. Okay, so let me wash my hands and we'll do. What I like to do is to put just a tiny bit of oil inside here. So I am using our garlic infused canola oil. And I don't use cooking spray ever, ever, ever. I haven't used it in probably 20 years. So you want to pump it up really good. And then you have this oil. So see, you don't even need stuff like Pam. You can put oil in our spritzer, and then you'll have that to use in the place of that. And then release the pressure before you put it away. I think for today, what I'm going to use is, of course, our 3 onion rub. You know I use that on everything, right? Love this stuff. So let's just sprinkle some 3 onion, peppercorn, and garlic on there too. Okay, now it's time to build. So our first layer is bacon in the microwave in our stoneware ridged baker, small bit ridged baker. And I've overlapped it on purpose so I could just pick it up by the handful. Okay, so our next layer is that yummy spinach and mushrooms. I could just eat this without making the pork loin. So we're gonna put this in here. That looks delicious. He's gonna be so happy. He's out driving that milk truck, working his hiney off over the road, and I'm keeping the home fires burning. So, okay, we've got that in there. Cheese. Now, the original recipe didn't have mushrooms in it, and it had Parmesan cheese. But guess what I have? I have some provolone cheese that I have grated up because I grated it for a party yesterday. We didn't need all that I bought, so we're going to put it in here. Because provolone, spinach, mushrooms, oh my stars. This is looking good, people. Looking good. Surely Pampered Chef products level that playing field. So people that are not good cooks are suddenly cooks. People that are mediocre cooks are like amazing cooks. People that already know how to cook and love to cook, well, they just get better and it's easier with our tools. So, on top of there, I do have some fresh Parmesan. And I'm just going to add a little of that too with our microplane zester. I'm going to come across here. Put some of that. It's 3. And that is the roll up. Now we're cooking this in our deep covered baker, which is part of our stoneware line. Now I'm going to put it in the oven at a little bit higher temperature than is recommended. But I only leave it in that part for 20 minutes, and that's at 475. So here we go. Now this is the hard part. You have to baby it a little bit, and you have to coax it, and you have to just be gentle with it. And see, I had a hole there, so I got to poke that in there. Poke, poke, poke. Now you could tie this with strings. You could put some, what do you call them, toothpicks in there. But since I'm going to the baker, it'll contain it into my deep covered baker, just like this. All right. So I don't want to leave those pieces out. I'm going to throw those in there. Now, when I was catering in the oil and gas industry out at the drilling sites, my guys loved this. And they loved that I brought real food to them. I didn't just go buy some barbecue or fried chicken or something. We cooked. We made meatloaf and spaghetti and all kinds of things. And I loved seeing their faces when they'd come up to my table and I had on my hot pink hard hat because I was at the well site. Alright. So I'm just going to put a little more of this garlic infused canola oil around the sides. I think I need to add a little more to it and top it with that. So I want that down in there. To the oven, uncovered at 475 degrees for 20 minutes. Then we're going to cover it and reduce the temperature to 350. So talk to you in a bit. Okay, so we did the 20 minutes at 475, and then I turned the temperature down to 325 and put the lid on it and did another 40 minutes. And look at this beautiful thing. All right, so it's rested a little bit and we're ready to start slicing. Use my big 8-inch chef's knife. It's gonna come right through here. The first one I do just to kind of even it out. And I'll push that over here and I'll eat that part because I want it to look pretty on the rest. So, let me get so I'm just gonna kind of hold this here. Ready? We're gonna come down this way. And sorry, I'm right-handed, so I have to do it on this side, and then I'll turn it around and show you. Swing it around here. But look how pretty that's going to look on a plate. There. Bring it over, you can see. See how yummy that is? It's so tender and juicy. And then, now some of the cheese cooked out, and so I'll gather that, put it on top of here, and there you have it. That is, oops, that is my stuffed pork loin.